So they supervise projects that require a qualified scientist. So let's say you're working in a lab, and the qualified scientist, the doctoral level professor who's there, is not there every day. Okay, but you're working under a lab superintendent, or you're working under a research assistant. Okay, that's a designated supervisor in that case. But there may be other cases. All right, the rules cover a lot of different things, and if you're working in a college lab somewhere or university lab somewhere, then you just need to know what that term means in that situation as it applies to these forms you have to fill out. Okay, you may have to have that research assistant fill out a form for you. Okay, depending on how it's set up. I've had conversations with one particular research plan supervisor, or your mentor, one of your mentors, where that situation occurs. Okay, he's not there every day, and so he leaves you under the supervision of somebody who knows what they're doing, because they've been doing it a while. They're your designated supervisor. Okay, all right. So if the qualified scientist cannot directly supervise you, then there has to be someone who is doing that. Okay, if you're working in a project where a qualified scientist is required, adult supervision is required at all times. All right? All right. So here's the qualified scientist form. It's fairly simple, but it has to be filled out. It has to be signed. You don't fill these out in pencil. All right? They're permanent records. All right? What? Qualified scientist form 2. All right? Now, I want you to do 2 things with this qualified scientist form. I want you to keep the original, and I want you to bring it to me to be scanned, to be kept in an electronic form in my computer system. That's your backup. Okay? I've taken students to the International Science Fair, and they didn't have all their forms. And you want to know how much trouble there is to get forms sent to you when you're, thousands of miles away? Huh? Right. Yeah. Okay. IRB. This is the one that's going to come up in here for quite a few of you. The IRB supervises or reviews your research plan to make sure that human participants' studies. If you're even asking questions of people as part of your research, you have to go before an IRB. It has to include an educator, a school administrator, and someone knowledgeable about evaluating physical or psychological risks, and you can see the rest of it there. Our school nurse has agreed and has received permission from her boss to be on that board. So that was the biggest thing, making sure that was taken care of. All right. These other things, I'm sure these shouldn't be too much of a problem. Okay. I'm sure we can get Ms. Terry or Mr. Gardner, somebody to sit on it. Okay. As far as an educator, one of the things that I'm trying to clear up, I'm not real sure about, is if as an adult sponsor, can I be on this IRB? I don't think I can. All right, if we were working directly under the federal guidelines that apply to a university, I couldn't sit on the board. Okay, but we'll see what they say about that. I don't think it's going to be a problem finding another educator to sit on the board. All right. The SRC reviews some projects before experimentation, like animal studies, and goes back then and reviews all projects just prior to completion. Typically, in this region, the SRC approval doesn't happen until you go to the regional science fair. But we will probably take care of that here. It will still have to go before the regional science fair SRC. And if you're lucky enough to win the regional science fair and get a trip to the international science fair, then it'll have to go through the international science fair SRC. Okay, they're just making sure that all the rules are taken care of. Membership includes a biomedical scientist, PhD, MD. You know all the initials there. All right. Yeah. Okay. But it has to be somebody who works in those areas, because if you're working with animals, you need somebody who has who has expertise in your particular area. That's why it says a biomedical scientist. Okay? I think we have enough contacts with people around the community now that we can probably find somebody to sit on an SRC if we decide that's what we're going to do. Okay? All right. And I'm not sure about the one other member. that probably is going to be somebody who is not a Dorman High School person. All right, but I've still got to clear that part up. I'm more worried about the IRB right now because that's what's facing you right now. Okay, I'll make sure I've cleared up all the details with the SRC when that time comes. And sometimes you have a combined IRB SRC. We won't have that here. I expect to just take care of the IRB right now and take care of the SRC later on. Okay, because I don't see any cases at this point in time where we need an SRC for approval before you do what you're going to do. Okay, in the future that might be the case. All right. Some forms are required for all scientists. Now, here's what I want you to do. There is a website, and I want to show it to you right now. And I want, since all of you have computers in front of you, okay, I want you to go to this website once I find where I've got it here. Okay, this is it. All the forms for the International Science Fair are located on this website. So please type in this address, www.societyforscience, all one word, .org /page.aspx ?PID =282. If you use your computer at home for a lot of your research, if you use a computer in another location for a lot of your research, you need to make sure this page is bookmarked. Okay? Do I need to zoom into that? Can all of you see that from where you are? You need me to zoom in a little bit? Okay. Oh, it won't zoom in the top. Uh-oh. It only zooms in the page itself. So let's see what we can do here. No. You know better than that. You know I can deal with it. Well, I could, but I ain't. Ain't a word. I know. I heard that too. Oh, well, let's don't let me make it bigger. Okay, let's do this.
I think you get a format in the farm.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I'll do it from there. Okay. That's only the type of, oh, here we go. Good. Now we can get there. All right. 72? That big enough? Oh, that's too much. 50? How about 36? How about 36? Not good enough. How about I do a return right here? There you go. That's your address. What? You can read it. Just go there, please. If you're using Google Chrome, you can do a bookmark, and it'll be on the Google Chrome when you open it up at home. If you log in as yourself. Okay, wherever you are, I think it also works on Explorer too, but I know it works on Google Chrome. Okay, who still needs this address up? All right. Now I mentioned this earlier in the week, and maybe a couple of you weren't here that day. You are required to have a flash drive in this class. Okay. So, is there anybody need that address up still?
I'm not doing that.
Huh?
Like it's still like loading and it's not doing that. Alright, I've got it. I'm just going to copy it.
Anybody still need it up for a while? Alright, here we go. So this has everything you would want to know and we're afraid to ask. Okay? That's an old book and movie. Alright. So, everything, here's the complete rules and guidelines. Okay? Huh? Well, you don't necessarily need that right now, but that's what you want to do. You want to go there and, well, why not? Put it in your flash drive. You got it.
There's so much space.
Yeah? But you got plenty of room on your flash drive for it.
Oh, are you sure about that?
Yes, because everybody's has to have a certain size in this class. Okay, it's on your syllabus. Huh? At least 4.
I think you're like coming up with rules on
Really? Well, you show me on your syllabus that it's not there.
Like now 3 plus drives down.
Uh-huh. All right. I don't even know if you can buy 4 anymore. 8's the smallest one I see these days.
Well, I have an external one.
As long as you've got it downloaded where you can have access to it, even if the computer is down. Even if, I'm sorry, the computer, but the internet is down. Okay? That's why I want you to have a hard copy on your flash drive. Here's the deal. I want you to be able to fill out the forms on your computer electronically, print them and sign them, so that everybody can read it. Okay? I won't name any names, but you know, there are certain people who have good handwriting and certain people that don't. Boy, I'm just so tempted to get, like, under my breath just a little bit to say that name. No, I won't do that. Okay. All right. No, we won't do that. We won't do it. No. Y'all know who it is. Y'all know who you are. I know. We're all playing around here and everybody's good with it, right? All right. You're not good with it? Okay. Well, I'm talking about you anyway, so. All right. Here we go. Now, this part right here, look, this is the student handbook. Okay? Everything is under the rules and guidelines. The student handbook is just the stuff usually that students get. That's the one that you really need to be familiar with more than anything else, okay? But if you're dealing with human subjects in your research, you better go to the complete rules and guidelines. But there are places where you can look that up separately if you want to. I think it's about page 8, 9, and 10 or something like that is where human subjects are covered. Okay? All right. Now, we talked about the adult qualified scientist form. Well, there it is down there. Under 2013 forms, qualified scientist form. If you are working in a university, if you are working in a college lab, if you are working under someone who has a master's or doctorate at a business or research institution of some kind other than college, university, you need that form. Download it now to your flash drive. Make a note to yourself to start filling that out now. Go to your supervisor, your qualified scientist, the next time you're there, and get that information from them and go ahead and put it in the form. Because that's one thing you don't want to have to sweat over when you get to the end of your research. You got enough to sweat over at the end of your research. Okay, it's called Form 2, Qualified Scientist Form. Okay? Huh?
Are you qualified?
Qualified scientist. No. I do not have a doctorate in the area that you are doing your research in. But you don't need it for what you're doing. Huh? Well, the guidelines are very specific of when it's needed, when it's not. If you're working in so far, all the research plans that I've read over, the only people that need a qualified scientist are working in a college or university setting. Okay, so we're okay. All right? If not, we'll have to find somebody. Okay? And we can take care of that. Is Dr. Terry qualified for that? Depends on the area. Okay? Because you have to be qualified in the specific area of your research. All right? We probably could convene an SRC here, and the SRC would say I'm qualified in certain areas. Okay? I have a master's. All right? So I could get qualified in your area of research if we needed to. But I don't think, in the cases of all the research plans I've read, that this is not going to be a problem. Okay? All right. Let's see. Let's go back to the PowerPoint then. Has everybody downloaded their, at least the qualified scientist form if one is going to be needed? Have you downloaded it? Okay. You've got it on your flash drive.